thrive.
Jackson's really a food town. It has become more and more recognized for its restaurants, and people really care about the food that they eat.
Before it was diced, sautéed, or roasted, produce typically spent hours in the back of a semi on the way to Jackson. But now, Vertical Harvest is bringing farm fresh to downtown using a method called hydroponic farming.
And it means that you feed the plant through water, so we don't need any soil in the greenhouse. So basically we just have a growing medium that holds the roots for the plants and is basically a delivery device for the nutrients.
Each of the 3 floors has a different microclimate, allowing a variety of produce, from tomatoes to microgreens, to thrive year-round.
If we have a hailstorm outside, if it's blowing down with snow, our plants are kind of smugly watching from their high-rise apartments. So there's a lot of benefits to growing indoors.
Out in Jackson today, the weather is a cool 34 degrees. But up here on the 3rd floor of Vertical Harvest, they're growing tomato plants. And in just a few weeks' time, these tomatoes will be served on plates down in the restaurants in Jackson.
When you go out and you see some of your produce on a gorgeous plate and you see other people enjoying it and commenting about the quality of the produce, it's incredibly rewarding.
It's a feeling shared not only by the company's 3 female co-owners, but their 15 employees who now have an opportunity like never before.
I help harvest tomatoes, and I do microgreens in the afternoon.
John Feifels, like most of his coworkers, has a developmental disability, something that limited his employment options for years.
I used to work at the Elk Country Inn. I had to fold laundry and carry bags of dirty laundry.
But here at Vertical Harvest, Feifels and Sean Stone find purpose.
It's a great job, it's good for their environment, and it's healthy for people that buys this stuff from us.
It's really shifted the perception of what this population is able to do, and I think that story brings people to Vertical Harvest first, and then they keep coming back because of the quality of the produce.
And the quantity. 10 acres worth of fruit, vegetables, and herbs grown on 1/10 of an acre, making Vertical Harvest a massive year-round producer. While the idea clearly works today, skeptics had their doubts.
It's a pretty far out thing to say to someone, right? We're going to grow this 3-story high greenhouse in Jackson, Wyoming, when it's -20 outside, and we're going to employ all these different growing methods that have never been done before, and we're going to employ people with disabilities to run it. And people might be inclined to think that that's a little bit much, you know, to bite off. And it's been incredible. I think anyone with doubts has not only become a believer, but become an advocate.
It's a system of support the team at Vertical Harvest hopes to achieve in the 5 other communities they've pegged for future development.
It's all about pairing innovation with an underserved community. And in Jackson, that's been employing people with disabilities, but in other towns we go to, that might be employing veterans or ex-felons or the homeless population. So we're excited to go and do good elsewhere.
In Jackson, I'm Asia Gore, MTN News.
Thanks, Asia. And Asia tells us just a couple weeks ago, Vertical Harvest received its GAP certification, which stands for Good Agricultural Practices. Now, that means it can soon distribute produce to grocery stores like Albertsons.
What a great idea and a great story. Vertical Harvest, by the way, does schedule tours, so there is an opportunity to check it out for yourself.